up your engine! Today I'm going to talk about a big old Texas pickup truck. It's the 1794 edition Toyota Tundra. And you thought the Spanish conquered Texas first? No, it was the Japanese. And who would have thought the Japanese would have had such advanced technology back in 1794? It's a 2020 Toyota Tundra 1794 edition. It's a real solid work truck made just outside San Antonio, Texas. The 1794 refers to the Spanish ranch that was founded where the factory is. And now the land's owned by Toyota Motor Company, and they make these giant pickup trucks there. Now the Tundra is the first full-size pickup built by the Japanese in the United States. They started in Indiana in 1999, and they moved to San Antonio, Texas in 2008. And from my experience, they're just like any other Toyota. Extremely reliable. Now they're not giving these trucks away. This particular one is fully loaded, four-wheel drive, goes for $56,000. But an equivalent F-150 fully loaded four-wheel drive, 2020, goes for $67,000. Now of course you can get a base F-150 a lot less than a base Toyota Tundra, but a lot of guys want a loaded pickup truck. These things are loaded, and as I said, it's a Toyota. They can last virtually forever if you take care of them minimally. Now, interestingly enough, the transfer case on this four-wheel drive Tundra is the same as the transfer case in a Ford F-150. They're made by Borg Warner in South Carolina. The things you learn indirectly these days, turns out that a tornado hit that factory a while back, stopped production, and it stopped production of the Fords, Toyotas, and the Rams, because they're all using the same transfer case made by Borg Warner in South Carolina. So parts come from all over the world. Most vehicles are world cars. Things come from all over. And Borg Warner makes excellent products. So we'll check under the hood. And what do we have? Big old 5.7 liter V8 with the I-Force, Toyota's new design to get more horsepower and the best gas mileage you possibly can out of a big truck like this. But of course, it's still a gas hog. All big pickup trucks are. This thing will get about 13 in the city and 17 on a highway on a good day. The gas hogs, the big heavy trucks are not gas misers. Big trucks aren't. You want gas mileage? Don't buy a big truck. This baby puts out 381 horsepower. It's hooked up to a 6-speed automatic with overdrive that is extremely reliable. These things can last a long time. You want a big, heavy-duty pickup truck? These are excellent trucks. Now, as you can see, it's a big old truck. It's got the fancy leather for the San Antonio Ranch. It is comfortable. I've seen the Ford Ranch ones, and hey, they got the same kind of seats in them. Who knows? It's Texas. They might even come from the same place. I don't know. Then go outside. Check the back seats. Lots of room. And look, the Japanese are smart. Air conditioning in the back. Power cutoff in the back. A lot of room. Easily fit 3 people. It's a nice big pickup. And a great sound system. This particular one's got a 12-speaker sound system. And being a TRD off-road, it's a little higher. It's got lots of clearance. You can drive this thing wherever you want. And my favorite is the optional $1,200 dual exhaust. It makes a nice sound. Not outrageously loud. Makes a great sound when you're accelerating. It's not obnoxious, but it's got that nice V8 rumble. Check it out as we take it for a drive. Typical Toyota, starts right up. And it's got a nice little interface here. And you can fill it with 2-wheel drive, 4 high, 4 low. Got oil pressure, coolant temperature, charging voltage. It's a nicely set up truck. Really comfy leather seats too. And for the man who has everything, it's got a sunroof too. Not strictly traditional on this one. First thing you notice is it's a pretty quiet truck. Transmission has a seamless shift pattern. You feel rugged and safe inside this truck. That's got a reasonable amount of horsepower, so let's see how it takes off in automatic. You can hear those tires spin. I turned off the traction control. And that sound, it makes a nice sound. I'd spend the $1,200 extra for the exhaust. Now for a big giant truck, it handles quite well. You're gonna feel bumps. It's a big 4-wheel drive pickup truck. It doesn't ride like a Lexus, it's not supposed to. It's a big off-road 4-wheel drive pickup truck. Now you will hear some noises while I'm driving beeping because I've disconnected the traction control. I like having them so I can make those tires spin. It's more fun driving them that way. If you know how to drive a classic pickup truck, let me tell you, this thing's for you, and it will hold up over time. Toyota makes a fun truck that also lasts. Yes, they do now. So I guess the Japanese have watched enough Western movies to finally build something that the American cowboy wants. Even if it's only a philosophical urban cowboy like me. If you want to tow, this thing can tow up to 9,900 pounds. But like I always say, you want something to tow, you're better off with the diesel engine anyways. They're made for towing. Gasoline engines are made for speed. Diesel engines are made for towing. And if you want a fully loaded, reliable pickup that can last for decades, this is probably the pickup for you. But I'm sure the Spaniard who founded the ranch in 1794 would have no idea that all these years later they'd be building these giant iron horses with 4-wheel drive on his ranch site. And I'd give $1,000,000 to 1 that he would have never thought that it would be done by the Japanese. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Baby G says, Scotty, I'm about to buy my first car. My budget is $4,000. Any ideas? Yeah, don't let your eyes be bigger than your pocketbook. Look for something that is at least reliable and maybe a little bit of fun, but put reliability first. If you can find a good used Corolla or Honda Civic, buy it. If you want a little fancier, look for an older Toyota Camry or older Honda Accord. Stay away from American cars used, they're generally junk. And definitely stay away from German cars used, they're all endless money pits. So stick to the Toyotas and Hondas and see what you can find. Look at Craigslist, ask your friends. Maybe somebody's joined the army, they're selling their car. Maybe some old person can't drive anymore and they're selling their car. You never know what you're going to run into. The milkman says, Scotty, I was in my 2013 Nissan Sentra leaving a store and the wheels started grinding. It started reversing and drive, then it wouldn't accelerate. Well, I hate to tell you, but your transmission has gone out. And it's typical on those things. They have the horrendous Jatco transmissions because Nissan owns Jatco. So they use Jatco transmissions, which are very poorly made transmissions. And sad but true, yours has gone out and it's probably going to cost you more money to fix than the car is worth. If you do want to fix it, my advice is call a bunch of junkyards and see if you can find one that will install a used transmission. If you can get it done for maybe $1,000 or so, do it and then try to sell the car, or then just drive it with the new used transmission and pray it lasts for a while before you have to buy another car because they're garbage. Papa Bobbis says, Scotty, do you recommend 4x4 all-wheel drive for somebody living in Chicago? Well, it's your money. You can do whatever you want. Now, if you're worried about snow in the winter, get a 4x4 and then you can turn it on and off. All-wheel drive is on all the time. And when you have all-wheel drive, there's more expense. When you get a bad tire, you got to buy all 4 tires. With a 4x4, you can buy 2 at a time. You don't need to buy all 4. So you might be better off with a 4-wheel drive than an all-wheel drive that's on all the time. And you're going to pay a lot more money for an all-wheel drive too. Plus, they get worse gas mileage because you're always in an all-wheel drive. So you'd probably be better off with a 4x4. Carlos Navarro says, Scotty, what do you think of a 94 Chevy S10 Blazer with a 4.3 Vortec V6? All right, well, back in 94, GM was building better vehicles, except for that one. The 4.3 V6 Vortec in a 94 S10 Blazer was a crappy vehicle. I had a few customers with them, and they all ended up hating them, said it was the worst vehicles they ever had. Their automatic transmissions broken, all of them. They weren't very good vehicles. I mean, if you're going to buy a used one and it's dirt cheap and it still shifts and runs, what the heck? If you can pick it up for $500-$600 and it runs, go ahead. But don't pay much money for them. They're worth nothing. And if a mechanic checks it out, they'll probably tell you not to buy it because something will probably be breaking it when they're that old. Adam Cater says, how long will the 2011 Honda CR-V front-wheel drive last in Ottawa, Canada? Well, I would assume it would last a long time as long as you don't drive it in the canals in the summer. Now, in the winter, you could drive it on the canals there. I've been there because the ice is thick. You can skate on it. You can drive it there. But don't try to drive it on in the summer. It should last a long time. They're really well made. I got a customer with the CR-V's got 385,000 miles. Not kilometers, miles. So they can last a really long time. And they were decently in 2011 anti-rust proof and that they generally don't become rust buckets like the really old ones did. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.